speaking on that topic about how people treat you when it comes to your hair, and how they can pass judgment on you when it comes to your hair. And it's like one of these things that people I was in a business coaching program, and the guy, he says to me, because I had my afro one week and then I came back with my wig, because of course I take a break. And he was like, "Oh my gosh, Rayshawn, how'd you do it? You have like short black hair last week, and how did you get blonde hair this week?" And in my mind, I thought, "You watch movies. You know what Halloween is. You really." I think he literally wanted me to say that I was wearing a wig. You know what I mean? And that it was like this thing where I had to, and I just told him. I said, "Oh no, it was easy, honey. It took me a couple minutes. I didn't even say I had on a wig, because at this point, I think it's so powerful for the younger stylists to hear these types of responses. The fact that you went to your manager and had that conversation, because a lot of times we just feel saddened by the experience, and
Yeah,
we
and
walk.
they're the boss, and what they say goes, and I have to fix. I'm not fixing a damn thing.
You see
I'm
that?
not fixing it. We're gonna have this conversation,
Yeah, and there's a
and
professional way
I'm
to
gonna
do that.
adjust from there.
Yeah, and
I'm either
you
gonna
did
be
that
here or I'm
professionally.
not.
I love it. I love the way you did that, because but you have to find a way. Y'all take these recommendations, because we not telling y'all this ain't gonna happen to you. We saying this because there's a possibility that you
It's a
can be a.
possibility.
Yeah, you can be in these shoes, and sometimes you don't know what to say. When I was younger, I wasn't as confident as you. I wasn't as confident. My manager, she said to me, she walked past and she said, "Is there something you can do about the way your people's hair smells?" I was
How
blown.
old were you?
I was probably 26, and I just was like,
Oh,
mm,
that just would have been a whole lawsuit. I'd have been straight up in EE. What is it?
yeah,
EEOC, whatever it is.
yeah,
I'd have been in HR.
literally, I
I'm
should
not
have
even going
been.
to respond to you. What did you do? Okay. Oh, I'm taking my lunch early.
Check, please.
I need to go home for the day. I'm distraught. Like, she couldn't have said that to me
She
without
did, and
consequences.
I mean, and that is the thing. If I had a Tiffany back then, and if I had these conversations back then, I would have known what to do to protect myself, because that
Yeah.
really I was like, huh? And then I just looked at her and I'm like, no. And I walked away, because there is nothing. And what do you mean about your people hair smell? Like, what is that? Where does this
Who are these people?
right? Who are they? Who
Because I'm quick to remind you that we're probably related.
literally, literally. I mean, because
Who are these people?
it's crazy the way we
Yeah.
all in America. It is the melting pot. None of us, not even the Caucasians, to be honest, were born here. They're from Europe. They're Europeans, bro. They come from a whole different country just like we do. They're immigrants just like we are. Now, Native Americans, which I just love me some Native Americans. I just really do. But they were here. They weren't brought here. They were here. So if
Facts.
anybody is from this earth and this ground and have that's them. It's not really us. It's just this society has placed us in these places where we feel and continue to feel on a regular basis very much so foreign, and like we were just, it's a gift to be in America type thing, when there's just a
Mm.
lot. Seriously, they act like they handed us a present, like, here you go. Oh,
No, we built it. We built it.
yes, we did, and it wasn't built on rock and roll, okay. That's a,
But you guys see this conversation? It's 2022 and we're still having these conversations.
mm,
So I am really big on there is legislation. We're having legislation passed so that we can wear our hair the way we want to. Did
mm,
you know that?
mm.
It's called the Crown Act.
That's crazy, and you big on that,
And they're
girl.
going state by state. And every time we have a victory, I make sure that I'm posting it and bringing awareness to it. This is a real thing.
A
People
real
are
thing.
going to court and having battles to be able to express themselves through their hair or to be able to be comfortable when they walk into work or a college campus or
Mhm.
whatever school that they go to. We're
Right.
still having these issues to the point where there is a whole movement that is creating legislation to be passed.
Mm.
The most recent one, I think I have posted in my stories, Arkansas, like
I,
just days ago.
Girl, I've been listening. I
We are
just on your story. I
fighting
was
for
like, oh my
this.
God, what is this? I
We are
was.
fighting for this. And to the point where, there's when you're posting your stories and everything, there's graphics for it. They have a whole suite of graphics to show your support.
Mm.
It's a whole thing. It's
And
a
that's
it's a whole
real.
movement, and there's legislation being passed state by state.
And
It
where
is
did we
crazy
get
that
to?
this is
Where did we get to where you gotta get a law? Like, you know what I mean? I know people don't grow blue or green hair, but where is this at where our work ethic and and that the content of our character does not it doesn't oversee the fact that we are that my hair did not make me.
biases, prejudices. Yeah.
That's yeah, and they just still are here today. They're just really, really steered. And I think just bringing it back to cosmetology is what I would love for us to do. I feel like it may not be the same type of biases and the same type of things but we need some acts in place.
Yeah,
We
I
need some
agree.
acts in place for us as for the cosmetology field because I feel like there's so much that goes unturned and there's so many different rules and different all this this needs to be a thing that is universal. Cosmetology students are coming out of school not even having the credentials, even though they've completed a program to
Mhm.
understand how to run a business. It's just like, to me, it's like high school. Like when you come out of high school, they don't teach you how to bank account. They don't teach you how to make no money. They don't have any entrepreneurship skills. But you're coming out of cosmetology school, you need entrepreneurship skills. If you're not going into missions commission styling, you need to understand that you need a 1099. Some of them don't even know what that is. They don't know how to do. They don't talk about bookkeeping. They don't talk about any of those things. And that is why I just feel like I was like, oh my goodness, Rayshawn, you can't just complain about the problem. You got to be a part of the
Be a
solution.
solution.
Yes. And
Be a
that is
solution.
what
I'm
I'm
big on
doing.
that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Let's talk about that because you are a solution as well and especially coming from when you just graduated, that's the bridge that you're building for these students because a lot of them don't know how to go out to run their own business. So let's talk about what it is that how you get them from point A to point Z and successfully allow them to complete the program and so that they can feel valued.
Well, here's the thing. This is how it started for me. I took cosmetology in high school,
Hmm.
but like most people around me did not believe that you could earn a good living, that it wasn't a real career.
That's true.
Cosmetology is a whole career, a whole ass career. It's a career.
It is.
I'm in year 29. I
Go
have
ahead,
done the
girl.
gamut of, I have worked in every branch I can in my cosmetology license. I've had nail clients, facial clients, hair
Hmm.
clients, with all of it. I've
Hmm.
worked in every area and I've also taught in every area. And I have seen the curriculums in all of these schools.
Hmm.
So I thought there was going to be a difference. I started out at like the mom and pop schools, the local hair schools.
Okay.
They weren't paying me enough. So, I ventured off into the more corporate and chain schools,
Hmm.
thinking I was going to have a different experience as an educator. It is the same.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
The goal is bodies to the board.
Mm.
The goal is bodies to the board.
That's scary.
So just like most other school systems,
Hmm.
they're teaching to test.
And not teaching to skill set. This is a skill. We're trade school. We need to know how to run a business, bro. Like that is so scary that even in the corporate
You're not
world,
getting it.
you're not
You're
getting
not
it.
getting it. You're not getting it. You only literally in the more structured school,
Hmm.
we even only spent 3 weeks on the business chapters, and there's like four of them.
Mm. What is
So you
the
get you
depth
get
of
your
them?
you get your 2-3 hours of theory in the morning, then you're on the floor. Because by
Hmm.
the time you get to that point in the book, in the curriculum, you're on the floor. And guess what? If the floor is busy, you're getting pulled. So
Period.
out of those 3 weeks of 3 hours, you might get 10 total hours.
Cosmetology school felt like a job to me. I don't care what nobody say.
It
I was at
is.
work. I was not in school. I was at work.
It is. And a lot of times, I'm gonna go here. A lot of times, I'm glad that there's a change now that more diverse school owners is
Hmm.
happening in more diverse areas. But in the 90s, I learned in a school that was only one type of hair to work on.
Right,
And
right,
not only was it only one type of hair, they were little old ladies. I'm
right,
doing roller sets all day. When I come out of school, when I go home, when I go to the salon, there's no little old ladies getting roller sets.
right.
So depending on, when you're choosing your school, you have to look at the demographics, you have to look at where you're trying to go. There's a time and a place for the high-end schools.
Hmm.
If you know you want to go right into a, high-end salon, then you go there to a
Hmm.
high-end school. If you know that you're looking for entrepreneurship and to
Hmm.
do things your own way, don't I'm going around the block, but it all goes together. Don't go to those schools with all of the with those high tuitions. You're gonna
Hmm.
have debt,
Yes, lots and
and you
lots of
can't
that.
even, depending on where you're going and what your journey is, you can't even apply what you were taught
Yes,
in
because we're
that
not doing roller
setting.
sets.
I'm
Okay,
not doing roll. You're not doing highlight foils all damn day. So why are you paying for that for years?
for years.
For years.
Hmm.
I just have so many things to this industry that nobody is talking about.
The fact that the ethnicity is missing. The ethnicity, we need more cultured learning. It has to be a more
Period. All the way
cultured,
around
yeah, it needs to be
for
a more
everyone.
cultured, yes, a more cultured
Mhm.
learning, because there is a difference. I know that I know white scalp ain't different than a black scalp, but the hair that comes out of the follicle, it comes out differently, and the follicle shape is differently. That look, I dare you know, I'll be getting into the science because that is
Give
so
it to
important.
them.
The
Give it to
reason,
them.
the reason that we get more blackheads and that we get, and the hairs coil underneath the skin is because when you look at the follicle now, this is something that dermatologists do, but if you were to cut the dermis, the epidermis, and you were to cut it in half and you would look at it, you would see that the bulb of the follicle that it's holding, if you look at a Caucasian scalp or a straight piece of hair, it's a nice round follicle, and it comes straight up out the follicle. It goes straight up. There's no potential to curl. That's why it comes out straight. But when you're
Correct.
dealing with ethnic hair, when you're dealing with the kinky, coily, wavy hair, that is actually like like a little C. It's curved. So when
Tilted.
that
Yep.
hair grows up out of there, that's what gives it that kinky, coily texture. And so there is a difference in the extension of that follicle, and that is what needs to be talked about, is that we need to understand that there is a difference, there is a reason behind all these different things, and it's not just because you're black and you're white, it's because your follicle structure is different, because we have Asians with super 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 straight hair.
I was working in a high-end salon in the downtown area, and I was and I jokingly called this guy Fonzie. He was one of my clients. He was Italian.
Uh-huh.
Baby, he needed a relaxer. His service was a chemical relaxer to
Uh-huh.
straighten and soften his hair. So it doesn't matter what your skin tone is, it is the follicle.
There you
Like he
go.
said, the follicle in the bulb. That is what dictates your hair texture and your pattern.
Hmm.
Because every skin tone has every different texture coming out from different people.
Literally, literally.
Because we're what? A melting pot.
We are a melting pot. It was so crazy. I was watching this documentary, and there are, in different countries, and I can't remember the country. It does slip my mind. But it was a country where there was melanated people that grew
Mhm.
nice white blonde hair like your hair.
Yes.
And they act like it was this, oh my God. Oh my, I can't believe this is, yes, it's
The things
possible.
people should Google, but they don't.
Right, right, right. There's so much information. Knowledge is power.
It
There's
is.
so much power in knowledge. I mean, like if you can, like reading books is one of my things that I do a lot of reading, lots and lots of reading. I know it's nerdy, but I love to read because I feel like there's so much out here
I'm
right now
always
that,
reading something.
oh, yes, girl, talk
We're
about it.
always
Talk
reading.
about
Books everywhere. Like
Yes.
marketing books, I'm a lifelong learner. Like
Hmm.
I'm gonna learn something.
Yeah.
about what I'm doing or what I'm trying to do.
Yep.
So as a consultant, I'm not teaching anything that I haven't studied and
Mhm.
haven't applied.
Right.
The same way as me behind the chair. I don't do anything to my clients that I have not tried, either on
Mhm.
me, my
Mhm.
friends, my parents, whoever is going to sit down and let me try it before
Absolutely.
I market it to my client and,
Yes.
quote unquote, sell it to them.
Uh-huh.
You have to know what you're doing.
And
Where's the
understand the
practice
benefits
time?
of it. Yeah.
Where's the practice time? We just see something on Google and then we just go and do it. We watch YouTube and then go do it to somebody.
Oh my
Then
goodness.
they're having adverse effects.
Yes.
Their scalp is dry, their edges are popping off.
Popping. Girl, that's
Not
gonna be our
baby
next
hair, it's
conversation.
broken hair.
We got to talk about these baby hairs, or what did you call them yesterday? What'd you say? Baby hairs or what?
It's not baby hair, it's damaged hair. It's broken.
Period. She just said
That
it. Uh-huh.
or that may be the majority of the hair that is in the resting phase
Mm-hmm.
or
Left.
the phase where it actually falls out.
Yeah,
There's stages to hair growth. It's
it
not
is.
all one
Energy
thing at one
intelligent.
time.
Yeah. The energy phase,
So,
intelligent phase.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So, and she's really telling the truth. Like, these are things that I'm hoping that you guys got really good insight on the conversation, and that our goal is not to, we're not perfect, but we are here
No.
to educate. And we
Yeah.
are here to share our perspective so that the world becomes a little bit more open minded. Ask questions, begin to
Mhm.
be curious. I put on this shirt, be more curious, because I think it's important to be curious about some of the things that is happening to your hair and scalp. We just think that we want to take the next thing coming, the next best thing. Because next week we're gonna dive into some of the hair extension techniques. Because we have Tiffany, who is the hair loss specialist, who really focuses on hair loss and has some really impertinent things that needs to be said about that. You have me, who talk about scalp care, and what we want to talk about is how the extension world is changing the game for hair loss. Like, we about to be real busy, Tiff.
Real busy. Really, really busy. What goes around comes around. There's nothing new under the sun.
Mm,
Oh, been there, done that. All of these sayings have truth and validity, right?
mhm.
Classic hairstyle, A-line bob.
Right.
It goes and it comes. It
It
goes and
does.
it listen, that's my favorite hairstyle. So when the trend is back on,
Ow.
like that cut, everybody should have a signature service
Uh-huh.
that
Oh,
just is classic. It
it's the
Anybody at any time can come in your chair and get it.
mm-hmm.
They are going to still feel beautiful. They're still going to feel on trend, whatever it is. For
Right.
that is a classic bob, whether it's straight, whether it's an asymmetrical A-line bob, a
Mm-hmm.
lob, a bob, whatever.
Right. They change
It
the names.
always comes back. It never goes away.
It never goes away.
Find yourself as a professional, find yourself that one service that's timeless.
Mm-hmm.
You need to have a timeless service, on your menu so that when it's slow, when the trends change and you don't want to jump on every trend, you have your signature. McDonald's always have a Big Mac.
Period.
They have wings sometimes. They have McRib or whatever it is sometimes, and now they ventured off into the coffees. The Big Mac is never leaving the menu.
It's not leaving the menu.
Not
You're
never
right.
ever. We
Uh-huh.
need to have a staple or signature service that's gonna carry the business no matter what trend is going.
And that
So
is
that's a little nugget for today.
that is powerful too. That's exactly why I started the scalp care certification course, because this is something that this is like the McDonald's, because your scalp care, regardless of what signature service that you maintain, we cannot leave out the scalp. We
You
have to
can't.
we have to remember that this hair that we're cutting on and that we're styling, it's not alive. It's not. If it was alive, okay, if it would have nerves in it and it would hurt like hell. Nobody would ever get their damn hair cut. It would
You would think it does because they cry like hell when you tell we need to
tell them
trim
they
the
need a
skin
trim.
off so that you can get a clean shape. We want to make sure that it's not splitting up the shaft and causing more damage. I'm not ready.
It's not. Yeah, I've definitely had that experience.
You would
I
think
girl, I gotta
it's
close my
not
eyes.
that feeling.
Sometimes I'll be like, it's these is grown people, literally.
Side note, when I got my first haircut at age 12,
Uh-huh.
I swept the hair up. And it was just the bang and the, honey, I swept it up. And when I went to school and got my license and came back to the salon, I worked at the salon that I used to get my hair done. And my
Uh-huh.
hairstylist had moved out of town and then she had moved back. So she came back when I was working there and was appalled. She was appalled that I was doing hair. Do you own a pair of shears? You cannot tell me the way you performed when I cut your hair that you're cutting somebody else's hair.
Uh,
You never know where you're going to end up. I had no clue, right? But it's just life comes full circle.
it does.
And some things never change. Health, you need to be healthy. I don't care what you're doing, what you're
Hmm.
wearing, what your hairstyle is. If you're not putting the right things on the inside, you're not going to get the right things on the outside.
And that's the
So that's
truth.
your scalp care, that's your diet. You need to
Hmm.
be rested.
Oh
All of these
gosh.
things are, can, ooh,
Mentally sound. Our mental sound, like people aren't, they're not mentally healthy, and then they wonder why they get alopecia areata. Like, why do I got this bald spot? Because you are stressing
all of
yourself
these things,
out.
yes, contribute to hair loss. It may not be today, it may be over time. If you're not putting the
Mhm.
right things in your body, you're going to get certain ailments and they are going to affect your hair growth, autoimmune diseases, and things like that.
Yes,
They can be turned around with diet,
they sure can.
a healthy lifestyle.
And she's telling
So
the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
a
Oh,
lot of times as cosmetologists behind the chair, we are given the task to regrow your hair, figure out what your disorder is, figure
hmm.
it out. You're on medications,
Oh,
you don't sleep, you drink like a damn fish, whatever. You're not coming in regularly, you're not getting your hair shampooed and conditioned and moisturized and
mm,
stimulated
right.
on a regular basis. The hair, it's not the hair growth oil. It's not the oil. It's the process of applying and stimulating, getting that blood flow circulating. It's
Listen,
not the damn oil by itself. It's
girl,
a
she said
process.
it. It's not the
It's
oil.
a process.
Oh
So
my
when
goodness.
she say I'm not here to knock anybody, go ahead and create your hair oils.
Hmm.
Market them properly. Stop lying to people. It's not a hair growth oil serum. Did you go to school for science, chemistry, biology?
Do you even know
Did you go
what
to
you
cosmetology school?
right? Do you even know what you put
Did,
inside of that oil?
do you even know if it is a pure oil? Do you know if it's a
Girl,
carrier oil?
tell them. How about they getting oils from for aromatherapy machines? Girl, listen. Okay, so now that we really
Y'all have
gonna
an
get in there. Oh,
attitude.
listen, I am not even. You know it's the truth. But I want to before we go, guys. I just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in. Whether you agree or whether you disagree, this is something that you need to be listening to because we gonna say some. Definitely gonna say some shit you ain't gonna like, but we gonna say some shit that you really love and make you think. And that's what I would love for you to focus on. So tune in next week. We'll be back with the same type of conversation. But remember,
Yes.
we're gonna talk a whole lot about this hair
Oh,
loss and these baby hairs that are can be really easily mistaken. Typically it's breakage. So be very careful with that. And if you want to learn some more about that, we're gonna have to tune in next week.
next week. I want to leave you with one thing, whether you are the consumer, whether you are the professional, or whether you are someone who supports either. Cosmetology is a whole ass career.
A whole
Tiffany
ass
Nichol.
career. Even though Google said we only make $29,000 a year, but we working on changing that.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Yes.
Not today. We're gonna talk about that
All
and
right.
how we hurt ourselves.
Yeah, oh, make
Stop.
sure y'all go and support us. I'm at the Head Spa Studio on Instagram. You can check out my YouTube, Rayshawn Phillips. Google me, y'all, because if you Google me, all of that'll come up.
You can find me on Facebook at the Cosmetology Collective. You can find me on Instagram at Tiffany Nichol _ also hot.
There
Thanks
you
for
go.
tuning in. We look forward to speaking with you more.
Bye bye.
Bye.